Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. My name is Doinita and this is Edyta.
Hello.
And today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Sabrina Savoy. Sabrina has a passion for connecting with the divine frequencies of our universe and sharing it with others to support our increasing awareness of self love, healing, and empowerment. Beautiful words, beautiful energy. Welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you for having me.
And so, would you like to tell us all a little bit who Sabrina is?
Yes, sure. Well, first I'm going to say, I'm grateful for being here with you today. Thank you for having me. Um, who is Sabrina Savoy? I am someone who is really passionate about energy work, working with the land, tuning into the divine, and then being able to bring it back into our everyday lives and allowing it to be weaved into everything that we do. So it's not so much a big sacred ceremony that has to be done on only special events, but it's something we weave into our everyday lives. Big ceremonies are great too. Don't get me wrong, but it's about what we do every day. And I believe that if we can weave the spirit into it, we're going to be in good hands.
Yeah, the big
Mhm.
ceremonies are great because we go deeper, but
Mhm.
everyday life, it's, I don't want to say challenging more, but definitely we kind of have to be on top of our awareness of uh, what we are what we are receiving and what we are giving to the world.
Yes, very conscious.
Very present and very
Mhm.
Yeah,
grounded.
yeah. It's like the saying, living life or doing something on purpose for a purpose, like really bringing that awareness into daily life. And yeah, like you said, it's that's challenging to kind of be on top of it every day. Um, the big ceremonies are amazing. A lot of people experience the profound shifts because you're going from here to there. And then when you just do a little bit every day, you don't really realize how far you've come. But then when you stop and you look back, and that's when you see like, wow, they've really transformed, changed, alchemized where I started from. So it's nice to actually combine both. I think you need to combine both. It makes it more fun and interesting.
Yeah, the big ceremonies and later the homework. And again,
Yeah,
The everyday
always
life, it's the
yeah,
homework,
yes, the everyday life, it's the
the
home.
homework. Yeah, the
integration,
homework.
the homework, exactly.
Homework. Yeah.
So it's like that brings me a question, have you always been drawn to the metaphysical and the organic and
The energy
the
work.
energy work and the magic, because the
Mhm.
nature and everything. So it's not just energy work, because what I'm hearing is like you are
Everything.
everything, really.
Mm.
So have you
Hmm.
always been like this since the little girl? And what?
I was. I was such a curious child, and I still am very curious. So I know a little bit about a lot of things, very curious. Um, but nature was always in my view, even as a child. And I remember having little experience throughout my whole life with bees and grasshoppers and listening to the wind and just wanting to pick up litter. And I didn't understand why people would throw their garbage on outside. Um, so there's always been a deep connection to Mother Earth from for as long as I remember. And my parents immigrated to Canada from Italy. And I remember still as a really young child, under the age of 7, I would say, remembering observing them and observing how hard they work and what they were working for. And it's like my consciousness had two levels that I was aware of. Like one, me in the present life, watching everything. And then another version of my awareness, thinking like, there is a higher way or a higher order that we can do the same things. So that was like my life the whole way through. And then high school hits and I just became very rebellious and smoked weed, went to concerts, wanted to just write and explore and create. And I kind of tuned out a little bit. I was busy being a teenager, thinking I know everything. Was very stubborn. And
Taurus.
then, yeah, Taurus, that's me. um, and then life changed really quickly. Then I was still in my early 20s. I went to college and it was for photography. So I always loved expression, creative expression, art. So I applied some of the things I observed when I was younger, observing my parents and all the hard work they put in. And I only applied to one college for photography, and it was Sheridan College. It was, I don't know if it still is now, the hardest school to get accepted into for photography. So thousands of applicants and only 100 get picked. So at first I was really scared to do it. I'm like, oh, I don't like the odds. I don't think not gonna go. I'm not gonna do a portfolio, whatever. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Um, and then I decided the day before, or was it 2 days before? No. It wasn't that quickly. It was like a week. I had about a week, and a voice went on and was like, "You have to do it." So I did it. I built a dark room in my father's shop bathroom. Back in the day, my brother-in-law worked at a photography store and was able to get like an enlarger, my chemicals for developing my trays. So I shot film, developed my film, printed my own pictures, and we needed a series of 10 images. So I went nuts. I just had this burst of huge creative energy, got it done. And then the day before the portfolio was due, I FedExed it to the school. I'm like, please get there on time. So I got there on time, and then it turns out I got accepted. So that was really exciting. It's like, wow, okay, I got it. So I felt a connection with spirit again, similar to when I was younger. It's like, why did I hear a voice that just made me do it? And then I did, and it turned out to be really great. So then it started to take me back. And then I was, with people my age, and they were just starting that like party stage, and I was already kind of falling out of it, like, meh, kind of already do that stuff, don't want to do it anymore. Um, so then school starts, we're into it a couple weeks or so, and I get called, just 10 people get called to go to one of the professor's office. And it turns out they didn't give us the order from 1 to 10, but out of this group of 10 people, we got the highest mark on our portfolio. Like, so the professors were really impressed with the work that we created. So I went from not knowing if I was going to go to college to not feeling like really discouraged about the odds and the competition, and then going to get the one of the top 10 portfolios that got me accepted. And all that work was done on my own, like developing the film to the prints to mounting it on these boards I used to use. Yeah, so that was a really big moment for me to realize how to apply my energy. And then, the rest kind of started to unfold. But yeah, so photography has a very special place in my heart. And yeah, it kind of led me to energy work because it's something that always kept me connected to spirit.
Mm. It's what I said before we started recording. I can see your background, and it's just very, very artistic. Everything is artistically put together, has a balance. It has a calming energy. So yeah, that's definitely one of your gifts and you were able to put all of them together.
Yeah, thank you. In my space, and this is a really Taurus thing too, like to be surrounded by things that make you feel calm and connected to your sensual side, and just feeling like, oh, I'm surrounded by beauty. There's the Venus just wanting to come and be acknowledged, and just knowing like I'm here in everyday life. It's always here. We just got to turn on that awareness.
That's beautiful. I'm just like basking in the energy.
Yeah. Well, then should I continue?
Yeah.
Because
Yes, please, because
from
it's gonna,
photography,
how did you move
Yeah.
from photography to
What you do now?
what you do now? And
yeah,
also it's like, what do you do now?
Yeah.
So
yeah, okay. So from photography, I got into energy work and Reiki specifically. So I think I graduated from college, I think it was 2004. 2004 sounds right. And then shortly after, I was doing just yoga classes and like, wow, this, the moving feels really good. And I was able to learn to breathe and move my body at the same time. And that made my internal physical body feel really good, just like breathing and moving at the same time in this nice rhythm. And so I stuck with that, always bouncing around to try different yoga studios, different classes. And that I was going to one consistently, and the yoga teacher was a Reiki master. And at that time, my mom was recently diagnosed with a rare form of breast cancer. It was called inflammatory breast cancer. So one day after yoga class, I was talking with my teacher, and I, told her, what I just found out about my mom. And she's like, well, I'm doing this Reiki training next weekend, and I think you'd be really good at it. And you can use it for yourself, and you can use it to help your mom. So right away I said, yeah, okay, sign me up. Let's do this. And I didn't have much experience or really know too much about what Reiki actually was. I had one session prior, and that's it. I really had a good experience my first time. I remember as soon as the practitioner put her hands on my head, tears just started to roll down my eyes, but I wasn't crying, just like water. I'm like, wow, what's happening? Like I had no control over what was happening to my eyes and to my body. So I had a very good first experience. So as soon as she brought it to my attention, that's why I was like, yeah, I want to learn. Am I able to? Like that girl, that woman who worked on me seemed so special. So can I actually do this? Um, so I did the Reiki 1 class, and after the attunements, I had a migraine for about 2 weeks. The attunement session hit me so hard. But in that class, that spirit voice or that higher self, whatever you prefer to call it, came back and was like, this is what you were looking for. And I felt it. I'm like, wow, this is what I was looking for. There was something so mystical and quiet. Because even when I'm in my creative process, like I don't talk, like hours and not a people come out of my voice. I'm very still and quiet when I'm working. And it felt the same. It was like this quiet, mysterious, but powerful flow of energy coming in. So I had 2 weeks where I was, I guess, releasing, but I actually decided I'm not using that word release anymore. We could talk about that after, but I was letting go, transforming, liberating old energies. And it took me a while and some physical pain to really integrate this higher energy, to really become aware of what higher energies actually feel like in my body. So I started working on my mom when I felt better. And that was the first time with evidence that I could really feel intuition. Like, yes, I've experienced intuition along my way, but it was the first like real, like black and white evidence that I needed to be like, wow, what's happening? So I was doing something called a Boysen scan, and it's when you run your hands in the person's energy field, and the positive energy coming from your hands is met with the different energies being emitted off the person. And then you feel hibiki, which is like different negative energies meeting your positive energy, so to say. So I was having these moments of really intense hibiki, like hovering over her body. And that intuition was like, the cancer's here, the cancer's there. And so I was like, what? Like I knew what I was feeling and I know very clearly what the message was, but it was very like, do I trust this? Do I believe this? What's happening? So I didn't say anything to my mom because she was having a very hard time with this diagnosis because she was a very healthy person. Like from the outside, you see her life. She was very fit. She exercised every day, ate healthy, doesn't drink, didn't smoke. So she was very like took care of herself really well. And she was the first person to even have cancer in our family. So her diagnosis was a surprise and it was very hard for her. So I did not want to make her feel worse by what I felt. So then I'm like, okay, I'll keep this to myself. Let me just send her the energy. So she really enjoyed it. She felt relaxed. Since her diagnosis, she had a lot of anxiety. So Reiki was really helping her just calm down, even for an hour, it was an improvement. So I think it was a few weeks to a month after she had to do a checkup to do where her CT scans, and thank you, even she would have to drink a liquid and then go in the machine and then they would see where the cancer is. And then when the results came back, those spots that were shown to me was revealed in those scans. So that was my evidence, like, wow, this is scary, but it's working, like something is happening. So I need to pay attention. So I did get a little bit freaked out at first. So then I asked my Reiki master, can you work on my mom? And can I just be there? Like, because I wanted to like see the way she worked. And then it was so emotional for me to go through that experience. So I needed time to process what was happening. But I continued to work on other people and gain my practice and experience. And then I eventually started working on my mom again because she was actually asking. So that was my big initiation into Reiki. So for me, this was, way before social media. It was 2007 or 2008, sorry. 2008 was when I did my Reiki training in first degree. So I didn't need to tell anybody. It was still very private. There was no Instagram to post about it. It was a very quiet life experience that I was having. And this is what I'm really passionate about. So from that experience, I stayed on the path of Reiki, learned more about it, completed the training, and now I teach. Actually, this Saturday, I'm teaching a level 2 class, and I'm really passionate about it and just sharing the magic of our conscious awareness, our intentions, and how we as individuals perceive energies coming from ourselves, coming from other people, um, respecting free will and soul contracts, knowing that even though, you really want to take someone's cancer away, that's the ego saying that their soul might have agreed to go through that experience, maybe pass away with it. And no matter how much Reiki you give them or healing energy you send them, that doesn't mean it's going to stop them from having that experience if that's what their soul agreed to experience. Make sense? Yeah.
Correct.
It's correct.
Yeah.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah.
If I'm
So,
like, how,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm curious. Probably everybody's like, how is your mom?
So she was given 6 months to live at her diagnosis, and she lasted 2 years. So yeah, she passed away when I was 25. Yeah, so that was a very interesting journey to be on, you know. So, and then in hindsight, I realize, or I see why I experienced a lot of those 20-something-year-old lives in my teenage years. It's like everything was fast tracked for me because in my 20s, I was, into something else. I was friends with people in their 40s and learning from them and, you know, just having a really simple life. And I wouldn't have changed it because I I love what I do and I love how I got to this moment. So I know very much that she's part of my practice now, and I have a really deep respect for Reiki. And I know it's really misunderstood in the West, and how it's used and what it's used for is um, questionable at times. But I just hope to teach enough people to share what the gift really is and allow them to use it in their own life and touch other people's lives with it too.
Would you tell us in a few short sentences what how you perceive Reiki? What is your thoughts, opinion, and how you feel about it?
Okay. Well, for me, Reiki is like source energy. it feels very pure. There's no duality in it. It's like it just is. And with your intentions, the person receiving it, the practitioner, then you can allow it to work with you for your highest potential. There's no, it follows the laws of the universe. So everything is free will. But it's, for me, the feeling of Reiki is very much connected to source energy. So there is no religion in that.
Oops.
This living every day more conscious, because I do Reiki energy work every day, right? So if I'm going to be of service, I do have to keep myself in check. And if I'm not in check, then I'm not showing, like, then that's fine. I have to honor that because I'm still human and going through my own experiences, emotions, alchemizing. So, but yeah, the everyday life and feeling the spirit and the source in everyday life is really important to me, and how I've chosen to live. I don't have to do this, but I choose to.
Choose to being in service.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful. You know, thank you for sharing your experience. And, you know, Reiki, you know, like make people probably have different, many people still don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
And people have mixed
Mm-hmm.
feelings and people are passionate about that. But
Right.
my feeling is that, you know, Reiki, you offer and you do much more than Reiki. You know, when you are present in a session or when you allowed yourself to stay open, like to be present and open, to be a conduit for the divine, there's much more happening there.
A lot of
Mm,
people, a lot of
it's
people
true.
are offering classes. It's just like a class, but this is not just a class. There is so much beyond that, and like you said, that's the connection with the spirit, the divine energy, however we call it. And if we are open to it, then yes. And if we just use it as a class, as a learning tool, I'm sure it's going to work, but that's not the purpose.
Right. Exactly.
Because you
Yeah.
opened up, you allowed yourself to open up to it. So
Yeah.
that takes courage
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to
It,
infinitely to open up to your own shadows, to your
Yeah,
own.
and be this way in a service to other people. Mm-hmm.
yeah. It's
It's
I
not just a
always
tool.
say, yeah, one of the things or mottos that I really stand behind when I'm working, and is like, your healing is everyone's healing. So I sometimes say, when I'm writing or sending an email or a post, I'll end it with, your healing is my healing, is our healing, because we're all somehow connected. And if we're all in a lower vibration, like, we're all going to feel in that lower vibration. If we can heal and alchemize and transform some of our limitations, then we are healing this for everybody. And it's kind of like, you know, the seven grandfather teachings is like, for all my relations. So what we're doing here is not just for this person in front of you, but we're going 7 generations behind us and 7 generations in front of us. I don't know why it's 7. I do not remember what the definition of
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 7 is, but for me, I don't have a number. That's just like I think I see this thread, this infinite thread, literally when I say the words, and I see it going behind and I see it going in front, and I just kind of see it around the world. And then from the world, it goes out into the universe. So it's like everything is so intricate and weaved together. So it's a lot. It can be a lot to be mindful of everything and how one decision affects everything. Um, so it's not, don't do that and make yourself crazy, like you still have to live your life, but just be more kind, be more aware, be more conscious. Like simple things with the litter. Instead of, you're driving, you roll down your window, you stick it out the window. Just save it. Throw it in the garbage when you park the car. Like you could do super simple things, that aren't taking up a lot of your mind space, or making yourself think too much about life. Because of course it's a mystery. We don't know everything.
And the healing doesn't start and doesn't end on a table or wherever we do the sessions. It's
Right.
it's the everyday life, like you said.
Yeah, it's
And
true. Everyday life.
it's like you said, it's like don't get yourself crazy with like with everything
Mm-hmm.
else. Like how would you? It's like being in the heart,
Yeah.
being just being mindful, being present, and doing the
Mhm.
best to be kind and to be loving, right?
Yeah. I did check
Yeah,
your website, so you also work with kids.
I do. Yeah, I love doing little the kids reports. They're really special. I mean, obviously, everyone is really special, but yeah, working with kids has been really rewarding, and not so much from feedback from the actual child, but what happens like for their parents and their caregivers, and that's, I think, really nice to have a more open minded or more awareness when you're working with children. So Doinita and I met because I offer quantum soul guidance sessions, and that's what I just call galactic astrology. So I'm not an astrologer, but I like to know about astrology, and I know about it, and dabble in it with my work. But I like to find out a child's birthday, and then I run their galactic chart so I see what universal galactic influence is embedded in this child's blueprint. And through that, we can help the parents understand their child more. Right now, with the way the world is, so many more high vibrational, really sensitive children are coming in. It's like the Dolores Cannon book, The Three Waves of Volunteers. So it's like we're getting another wave of volunteers to really help us with the ascension and live life more consciously. And through these little children, through these star seeds, um, we need to be sensitive to their needs because they're here to help. And just for the parent to become aware, like, okay, your child's soul color is pink, let's just say, and they're here and they're sensitive and they're going to be loving, but you need to nurture their boundaries and teach them certain things like how to have boundaries when you're older, and how to protect yourself. um, it just helps them feel more connected to their child in a different aspect, not so much the physical, but how can I more spiritually and mentally, emotionally connect with this human life? Like, what else do I don't see?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And we could go longer, much longer on this, but it's just as we're coming close to the end of today, because that doesn't mean,
Mm-hmm.
happy.
Yeah.
Um, can you tell us a little bit, like, just in a few words, like, what do you offer? you know, we
Mhm.
like learn the Reiki sessions, and you are in, where are you? And kind of like, how can people find you, connect with you, you know, for sessions and whatnot? Like, what are your offerings? And yeah, how can they find
Mhm.
you?
Sure. Well, the easiest way to reach me is my website. So I have both sabrinasavoy.com and piscesmoon.ca. They both lead you to the same place. That's my home base. So first and foremost, I offer energy work sessions and I do them internationally, whether they're online or remotely. Like you don't even need to be physically present for me to work on you. And then I send you an email report after. But I also see people in person here in my space. And I teach Reiki classes as well a few times a year. So that's like my stable constant thing that I'm always doing is energy work. And then I also offer quantum soul guidance readings, which are the galactic astrology reports for adults, for children. I call them the child's healing reports. So if anyone wants to do one of those for their children, that's what it's called, and you can book them all on my website. And then I also am a certified yoga teacher and qigong, and I love doing meditations. So once in a while, I host classes as well. So yeah, I do a few things, all in the spiritual realm, all with the passion and intention to empower yourself to kind of take the responsibility to be your own healer. You know, everyone's going to have work to do. Yeah, but those are my main things that I do, and it's all on my website.
And of course, I'm gonna add your website in the description below, so
Oh,
that will be easy. And you said it's
excellent.
you offer in-person sessions, and you are, where are you
Oh
located?
yes, currently in Beaton, Ontario. So I'm like an hour and a half outside of the city. Um, but I'm moving half an hour further north in this summer. So I will have a new space. I don't know how long what my next space is going to
New
look like, but
beginning.
I'll get to play and be creative and design a new peaceful sanctuary for people to visit me in.
A
Yeah.
beautiful
So
new beginning.
yeah, I'm excited about that.
Well, like I said, I would love to chat more. So maybe in the future would love to have you back so we can go deeper, delve deeper into perhaps the galactic astrology and other magical offerings you offer. And but for now, you know, thank you so very much for your presence and sharing your wisdom and your love. And I just wanted to add another thing that you are a beautiful mother of two children as well. So you as you work with children, you nurture and you raise children yourself. You're a beautiful mother.
Mhm.
So thank you for being you, for opening your heart to yourself, to spirit, and shining so bright
And sharing all
Oh,
of it with us.
and sharing all of
thank
it with
you.
us. So it's just an honor to have you here with us today. And of course, if anybody would like to connect with you, your website will be in the description below. And if you have any comments, you would like to ask questions from Sabrina or have any comments, please drop them in the comment link below. And yeah, if you like our channel, please subscribe, please press the like button and share it with your friends and family members. It will help us a lot to grow and share the magic with everyone.
Yes.
So,
Beautiful.
thank you so much, Sabrina.
Thank you for having me. I'm very
And,
Thank
grateful.
you.
and thank you,
Thank you.
everyone, for watching,
See
for
you.
listening. And till next time, bye for now.
Bye.